Hey everybody, Bill Sack here, your favorite attorney with the Firearms Policy Coalition legal team. When it comes to unpopular laws, the extent to which people follow them often tracks directly with how feasible it is for the government to enforce them. Look at income taxes, for example. Compliance with income tax withholdings is generally pretty good with traditionally documented employer-employee arrangements. But we see a dramatic drop-off in compliance where people are paid off the books and in cash. So why is that? Well, because it isn't really feasible for the IRS to track that income, folks are left up to their own discretion. With taxes being generally unpopular, it isn't surprising that people choose to comply less frequently. The same principle used to apply to the music industry. The only feasible way to get a hold of a new album was to buy it from the record label. They controlled the availability of the product. Then came the internet, and with easy and efficient file sharing, that old model went completely out the window. It was no longer feasible for the record companies to act as the gatekeepers of that information. And as a result, compliance with their business model plummeted. So why am I talking to you about income taxes and Napster, you're asking? Well, because the feasibility of regulating guns is at a major crossroads right now. While the government can still feasibly control who can get which guns, there comes along with that the impulse for them to continue to increasingly regulate them. But as technology advances and the ability of average citizens to manufacture their own firearms explodes, the enforceability of those regulations rapidly trends towards zero. And as we discussed, as enforceability drops off, so does compliance. The government, of course, rightly perceives the threat to their ability to enforce the laws on the books and seeks to enact new and increasingly reactionary regulations. That's exactly where we're at this moment. Anybody else here in the current administration and attorneys general all over the country making lots of noise about ghost guns? With the rise of DIY manufacturing, including 3D printing, the feasible regulation of firearms is rapidly trending towards nil. The ability of citizens to manufacture their own firearms connects directly to the principle of decentralized control at the core of the Second Amendment. In short, the more ungovernable we become and the freer we are, the more liberty will be preserved for us and for generations to come. Now, this idea is not my own. It is the subject of yet another thought-provoking and insightful article over at Open Source Defense. I've mentioned OSD before, but I'm going to remind you again that if you're not already subscribed to their newsletter, you're missing out on some of the most important ideas taking place in the gun debate. You definitely want to check them out. I'm Bill Sack, your favorite attorney with the Firearms Policy Coalition legal team.